This week on 49ers Cal High Sports, presented by U.S. Bank, the Castlemont football star and his lifelong journey to succeed. We'll meet the San Jose Soccer Twins in their effort to battle COVID.
We'll also feature Akili Calhoun and his journey to being a top recruit, and the baseball pitcher who's also an ace in Frisbee golf. It's all next on 49ers Cal High Sports.
Welcome to 49ers Cal High Sports, presented by U.S. Bank. I'm Robert Brownstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. Because of county COVID restrictions, we are not able to broadcast out of Levi's, so here we are in Studio B until restrictions are lifted.
I didn't even notice anything different.
You didn't?
Until you mentioned it. Now, yeah, it is.
Well, this isn't the first time Cal High is broadcasted out of Studio B. So back in 2002, this is the OG.
Yeah, going back to our roots. Nobody,
I love it.
None of the
great.
teens watching were alive back then, but here we are.
All right, we begin tonight with our Albanese construction feature athlete. He's a super smart runner from Salinas.
Aubrey, Gustavo Martinez is not a fortunate one. He's had to work hard for everything he's achieved. Just 2 weeks ago, Gustavo was rewarded for all of that hard work. Hard work is not a problem for Gustavo Martinez. He works hard here on the track and really hard in the classroom. He has incentive to be the first person in his family to go to college.
My desire to, I guess, educate myself as much as I can comes from the fact that my grandparents, from my mother's side, my mother wanted to become a teacher, but her parents didn't really support her and said that if she did become a teacher, that she would be dead in their eyes, and that education wasn't something that women should pursue. And I think from a very young age, she always instilled in me that idea that education opens the doors to as many opportunities as I could take advantage of.
Gustavo was just 2 years old when he came to the United States. His parents were farm workers, toiling in the fields to make life better for Gustavo and his little brother.
We initially arrived in Yuma, Arizona, and then after a few years of working the fields, they decided to move to Salinas, California, and that's where we've been for the majority of my life.
As a freshman at Alisal High School, Gustavo joined the cross-country and track teams. He was not a superstar, but running was exactly what he needed to help him tackle the obstacles in life.
I think it's very liberating from all the stress that comes with life and school, so I think it's an outlet that helped me find peace when it was really difficult to concentrate in school and in life.
There was never enough money to give Gustavo everything he would have wanted as a top student. He did what he could, but when there was a tough choice, oftentimes Gustavo had to do without.
I think in general it puts a lot of barriers. There's a lot of opportunities that we're not able to take because of financial reasons. So, I mean, if it's between me participating in the program or paying the rent, I think paying the rent takes priority.
So succeeding in school was harder for Gustavo, but he put in the work and learned quickly he has the skills to be a top student.
He's a very hard worker. When I had him as a student as well, his sophomore year, and always asking relevant questions, always wanting to learn more, and he was already kind of smart before he entered the class, but he always wanted to do more and learn more. I
don't think I've necessarily struggled too much with the material in any of my classes, but when I do struggle with some material, I know that my parents have worked very hard in life and in their job to get where they are and to get me where I am. So I follow that same mindset that, nothing's impossible if I just set my mind to it.
So Gustavo went about taking the hardest classes he could find. His list of advanced placement classes is impressive.
My sophomore year, I took AP Physics 1, and I took AP Spanish Language and Composition. And then my junior year, I took Biology AP, I took English Language and Composition AP, I took United States History AP, I took AP Spanish Literature and Culture, and I took AP Statistics. Senior year, for this first semester, I took AP Psychology. I also took AP Government as well as AP Econ.
With success in all of these classes, Gustavo has an impressive 4.3 GPA. The next step was finding a college where he could double major in physics and computer science. He applied to a variety of schools. Finally, on December 11th, 2 weeks ago, Gustavo received this letter from Stanford University. Gustavo would go to Stanford on scholarship, becoming the first person in his family to go to college.
Initially, it was really overwhelming. I didn't know what to say or how to react. I think it didn't settle in that I had finally got it accepted until maybe like 3 hours later. So once it set in, I was just, I don't know, there weren't any words that could describe how excited and happy I was. I was really relieved that all the work I had put in my whole life was finally paying off.
Gustavo says his parents were proud but don't really grasp the significance of a Stanford education, but they know their family has changed from a time when an education was not something his mom was allowed to pursue to now where Gustavo will go from a farm worker's family to a great university. Gustavo has some advice for other low-income students.
I think the one thing I would tell them is that to never set their expectations low, to always expect the best from themselves. As the more you expect from yourself, the more you're willing the more work you're willing to put forward.
Gustavo keeps on running, knowing his hard work has paid off, and starting next year, his life will be changed forever. Gustavo says a Stanford scholarship will pay for much of his college education. He's working hard to gather outside scholarships to pay for the rest, but you saw all of those AP classes. Wasn't that impressive?
Yes,
very
impressive.
You took about half that many?
I took a couple, but ended up dropping out of them because they were so hard.
Took approximately 0 AP classes.
All right, thanks, Robert. Stevens Creek Chevrolet brings us the Spirit Corner each week.
This week we feature the Aragon Dons high school cheer team. Coming up, Akili Calhoun Jr., a top recruit putting in work on the field and in the classroom to reach his goals.
And later, the sophomore soccer twins making a name for themselves at Lincoln High School as 49ers Cal High Sports rolls along.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
Look at you. No braces, all the internet you can handle. I wasn't so lucky.
Invis is not your parents' braces. Invis is predictable, less painful, more comfortable. Invisalign.
One, two, three.
Get ready to cheer for your next new or used car at Stevens Creek Chevrolet.
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
We're ready to make your buying experience safe and easy. Come to our dealership to see and test drive one of hundreds of great Chevrolet cars and trucks. Or you can go online to shop, order, and have your new car delivered right to your door. So get fired up for a great deal right here at
Stevens Creek Chevrolet!
It's understandable to feel anxious, stressed, or lonely because of COVID-19. Physical separation, your own health, and the health of friends and family can weigh heavily on you. Call a timeout on work. Get a game plan for mental wellness with crucial mental health resources from CalHOPE. We'll help you carry the ball. Call 1-833-317-HOPE to talk to someone who can help, or visit calhope.org. CalHOPE, official partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Invisalign, transforming smiles, changing lives. By Stevens Creek Chevrolet, find new roads. By Wingstop, order Wingstop's new all-in bundle, just $19.99. See wingstop.com for restrictions and details. And by Cupertino Electric, the company delivering power and possibilities and celebrating student athletes making a positive impact.
Welcome back to Studio B. Adobe helps us bring stories of top athletes performing at their peak each week.
Akili Calhoun is a 6'4", 225-pound pass rusher from Liberty High School. Now with a letter of intent signed, Akili is ready to put high school behind him so he can pursue his dreams and provide for his family. It's a sunny Thursday afternoon in Brentwood, and Liberty High School senior Akili Calhoun is beaming from ear to ear.
It's my last day of high school, and it feels great because I am beyond burnt out with school. I just need like a month, and I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
After 2 years of non-stop classes at Liberty, giving up his summer breaks to get ahead, Akili is graduating a semester early.
And I'm done. I went from sophomore year, summer, and then I had junior year, and throughout junior year, into the summer, and into senior year was just all school. I just didn't have no summer. And your happy family? I'm done with high school.
Oh, good job, baby. Akili not only had a full plate when it came to academics, he was also in the most intense part of the recruiting process.
It was extremely difficult. You know, I was seeing all these kids that were, ranked higher than me, getting these offers from all over the place, and I'm like, I could do the same thing they do, And so, for me, it just kind of made me just work harder. And then, as soon as I got my spotlight, then I took full advantage of it, and then that helped my name take off. That's where we starting now.
Akili is a 4-star defensive end who is now move-in ready.
I committed to UC Berkeley. There was a lot that went into it, actually. Part of it is, like UC Berkeley, you can't beat the education there. It's the #1 public university in the world. On top of that, my family has been through a lot, and so for me, being able to check in on mom and check in on my younger siblings and stuff like that has always been really important to me.
As Akili prepares for college, he can't help but remember both the good and trying times.
I don't know if I want to get into too much of it, but it was a whole lot. There was a lot of days where I went to school crying, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to give up a lot of times. I felt really lost for a long time, and on top of that, I've lost a lot of family members throughout this whole high school process, especially towards the end. Sophomore, junior year, I went through horrible depression. I honestly ended up cutting off everybody around me, and I think the only people that really helped me through it, honestly, was my coaches, my coach Newberry, Partridge. I would talk to Partridge daily, I would go in his office, and there'd just be some days I'd just go in there, I wouldn't even say nothing, I'd just start crying.
I texted him yesterday, congrats, I'm so proud of you. And he said, it was worth all those tears in your office, coach, and at lunch or after school or before practice, it was kind of a place where he'd come in and we'd, reset his mind and get him on track. He had a lot of deaths in his family and deaths to friends throughout his high school career, and it went like bang, 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 bang. It was just like people were dying all around him, and he just, he's a young boy. He looks like a grown man, but he's a young boy and just a sweet kid that he just listens and he takes in what coaches and teachers and principals and whoever talks to him that he respects. He takes what they say to heart, and it helped him become a better man.
Having those people around me help keep my head straight, you know, because there was a lot of times where I just wanted to stop playing. I just wanted to do something else, to just try to maybe do something that'll help my family, you know, try to get maybe some quick cash, something like that. And I never told him that. But like at the same time, like my athleticism is something that I have to take advantage of, because at the end of the day, why would I waste it on something stupid?
Akili will move on to the Cal Berkeley campus in the middle of January, the beginning of a dream he hopes will culminate with a career in the NFL.
I just want to be able to like provide for my family, you know, like I've never had money, you know. I live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. We got 3 mattresses on the floor in 1 room, you know. I don't even know what it's like to sleep on a regular bed, you know. It eats me up inside knowing that, you know, my family's got to live like that, you feel me? And for me, that just is like my extra like little fire, because like I refuse to live like that again. I don't want to feel this pain no more, you know. Like going into the NFL, not only getting that money, but just kind of playing the game I love, because I love football, you know. Like at the end of the day, I'm doing some of this for my family, but this is also for me too, just because like I want to get to that level. That's just a different level of play, you know. Like that's when you know that you've made it.
Akili says football is also his sanctuary.
Football is my life. Football is everything that has helped me through the things that I've gone through. Like it has been my rock, you know, for the longest time. I started playing when I was like 5, and you know, I mean, I wasn't the best, but you know, I got there, and for me, it has always been my therapy. Football, working out has been my therapy. It means the world to me, you know. This is my life.
Akili is a wonderful kid. All of the coaches I talked to said he's worked very hard to be able to graduate early, and Akili is set to move in on the Cal campus on January 18th.
Yeah, he's really talented. Guys had a great career there.
He is very talented. I walked up to him and he is huge. I mean, I'm like, you shouldn't be in high school anymore. You're so big.
Yeah, and he really would like to play this year.
Yes, he would.
Yeah, just like everybody else. Coming up, our U.S. Bank inspirational athlete will meet Josh Jones and hear his story of lifelong adversity and support.
And later, the talented cheerleader from Mitty High School, her story later on. This is 49ers Cal High Sports.
People always ask me what I got on. They be like, hey, Brandon, what you got on? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Invis is everything braces isn't. More comfortable, fewer emergency appointments. Invisalign.
Every day, the sun comes up. And right on cue, the work begins. We start every morning, knowing full well we are in it for the long haul. Our work is a labor of love. No task too small, no moment uncherished. And although we're not often thanked, we rest knowing that our work is making a brighter future. This is more than milk.
Go to SB Live California as your destination for the very best in local high school sports coverage online. SB Live brings sports fans exclusive articles, highlights, coaches, polls, and photo galleries. Get the SB Live app for the latest scores from games played all around the Bay Area and California. This season, SB Live brings you exclusive content in partnership with 49ers Cal High Sports. Follow us at SB Live CA on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. SB Live, the Bay Area's first destination for the latest in high school sports.
Invis is everything braces isn't. Eating the foods you love, life uninterrupted. Invisalign.
It's understandable to feel anxious, stressed, or lonely because of COVID-19. Physical separation, your own health, and the health of friends and family can weigh heavily on you. Call a timeout on work. Get a game plan for mental wellness with crucial mental health resources from CalHope. We'll help you carry the ball. Call 1-833-317-HOPE to talk to someone who can help, or visit calhope.org. CalHope, official partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
Hi, we're the Washington High School cheerleaders, and you're watching
49ers Cal High Sports Report.
Each week, U.S. Bank helps us bring you stories of inspirational athletes who amaze us.
Joshua Jones has faced many challenges in his life, but Josh persevered and is not letting anything stop him from achieving his goals. Danielle Podlosky has his story.
Everything that I go through, every stump that I step over, every wall that I hit, every hurdle I have to go over, is just something that gets me to that light that I'm looking for.
Castlemont Junior running back Joshua Jones never backs down from a challenge. He has faced many throughout his young life. Joshua entered the foster care system when he was just a baby.
In the circumstances that I was taken as a kid, it wasn't exactly shown that I would have a bright future. And for a long time, I can't tell you the exact age, but I was really down on myself, and I didn't feel a lot of self-worth as a kid.
Joshua was raised by his caring foster mom and foster grandma. He was officially adopted by his foster mom when he was 2.
Those two people have been a figure, to say the least. I don't have a father or a father figure at home, so growing up with only females in life has been something very hard to do, because I had to make my own definition of what a man looks like and what it means to grow up as African American in my community, while holding all those responsibilities of taking care of people at home.
Even though circumstances were tough, this positive young man always looked on the bright side of things.
A lot of negative things I was surrounded with negated my feelings. So being in that picture of just positivity and pulling that out of all the negative things that I went through really helped to turn around.
Joshua continues to find the positives in every aspect of his life, including football.
Last year was it was a rocky start. We went 1-9. It's nothing to cry home to. But I always look for the brighter things and how I can improve, and how I can improve as a leader to help other people. And I feel like change is something that's constant. It doesn't happen overnight, and we're not looking to go 10-0 next year, but just looking to constantly improve and constantly change people's lives and constantly change the reality around us.
Joshua has served as a leader on the Castlemont team ever since he put on the purple and white jersey.
One of the best leaders by example I ever seen in my life, you know what I mean? And so to have somebody like that on your team, it lifts a lot of weight off your shoulders when you got a leader like that.
Not only does Joshua lead on the field, but also in the classroom. Entering his junior year, Joshua carried an impressive 4.0 GPA. His academics, mixed with his speed and toughness at running back, has many colleges knocking on his door.
I've been talking to a decent amount of schools. The recruiting process has been a rocky start with all the pandemic and everything going on. But as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, good players find good coaches, and good coaches find good players.
Joshua has worked hard to come this far and is making plans for a bright future.
A lot of people go through bad things and they feel like this will be the last thing, that'll bring me down. But I feel like my goal is bigger than the things that are pulling me down.
A lot of people would have quit if they were him. They would have quit a long time ago because of the pressure and not having different resources. And this brother Josh found his resource and found his woosah in football. And I don't know, not one coach would want to have a kid that has been through what he's been through and came out the way he has. I don't know one coach that wouldn't want to have that on their roster.
Castlemont Junior running back Joshua Jones never backs down from a challenge. No matter what is thrown his way, Joshua pushes through and comes out even stronger.
It's incredible how positive and motivated Joshua is, and we are looking forward to seeing where he ends up playing in college.
Yeah, super smart.
Super
smart. And very articulate. Yes. Yeah, did a great job. All right, Wingstop brings us the Wings of an Angel honor each week, where a student athlete talks about their favorite teacher.
Here's Gustavo Martinez, who we met earlier in the show, talking about his favorite teacher, Juan Ledesma.
So my favorite teacher is Mr. Ledesma, and the reason why is because, I mean, firstly, he's a math teacher, and I love math. It's one of my favorite subjects. Secondly, he was the first teacher that actually challenged me intellectually and didn't let me settle for anything less than my best. And so with his mentality and his method of teaching, I was able to push myself a lot more. He's the main reason why I decided to take math classes at our local community college, because he saw that the math classes that were offered at our high school weren't necessarily the best for what I could provide. So he encouraged me to pursue higher avenues.
Our Wings of an Angel teacher will receive a Wingstop gift card for doing such a great job.
That's right. Wingstop is also honoring Terry Blanchard, a Wingstop owner who passed away this past spring from COVID-19. Wingstop will be supporting scholarships for athletes of color in Terry's honor. Those scholarships to be presented at our awards ceremony in June.
Coming up, the amazing soccer twins from San Jose having great success at a young age.
And later, from the mound to the mountain, the Campo pitcher excelling in Frisbee golf.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
Are you ready to sink your teeth into a lemon pepper, sweet and spicy Korean cube-tastic mango habanero
masterclass in all things wings?
Yes, I am.
Are you though?
I'll take that.
All right. Get the new all-in bundle for just $19.99. Available for delivery and carry-out for a limited time. Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Piercy Honda, located right off Highway 880 in Milpitas, is where you will find hundreds of new and pre-owned Hondas to choose from. Low credit score, no credit, first-time buyer? No problem, Piercy Honda can help. Find us online at piercyhonda.com to search our inventory, calculate your payments, and even complete your purchase. Piercy Honda is home to great customer service, great deals, and a more convenient way to buy a new or pre-owned Honda. Go to Piercy Honda in Milpitas.
The Guzmans were about to close on a home they adored, but at the last minute, their mortgage company denied their loan because the unusual home didn't meet their usual loan requirements. Heartbroken, they turned to Tri-Counties Bank home mortgage loan specialist Vincent Pagera. Specializing in custom loans for unique homes, his team quickly designed a creative solution, uniting the Guzmans and their home just in time. That's a perfect match. For personalized problem solving, switch to Tri-Counties Bank. Service with solutions.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By DGDG.com, where we want you to be a happy car buyer. By the Rikes Center, where goals and dreams become a reality. By Tri-Counties Bank, service with solutions. 12 locations now open in the Bay Area. And by the Serena Group, here for good.
I'm Kathleen Pazine with Sereno Group Real Estate, and I'm proud to support Bay Area high school sports on the 49ers Cal High Sports Report.
We are back with the story of the twin girls from San Jose and the success they're seeing on the soccer pitch.
Aubrey, the Schonauer twins are shining on and off the soccer field, achieving goals for the team and their community. On a chilly fall day at the local middle school, twin soccer players Landry and Kennedy Schonauer practice their skills. It's not the ideal situation for soccer players, but for these twins, they have each other to keep working on their game. Fortunately, the Schonauer twins are competitive, always challenging each other to make each other better.
It's definitely a competition between who, like, stats-wise and, like, personally as, like, sort of like a reputation out on the field, who has a better reputation, and it's all just a competition between each other. It's fun for sure, yeah, but it's a lot of competition, which is hard on both of us, but it helps us want to win, always win, and be better people.
Kennedy wins the GPA race with a 4.3, but Landry is close behind with a 4.0. Their education is the top priority, but soccer isn't far behind. The two started playing the game at age 7.
The first game, I think my first club game ever, the coach just asked who wants to go in goal, and I put my hand up, and that was probably one of my best decisions.
I've been lucky enough to know them since they were 7, and right from the beginning when I met them, you could tell they were great athletes and really just natural soccer players.
Last season in her freshman year, Kennedy scored an incredible 39 goals for her Lincoln team. Kennedy was named MVP of the league as a freshman.
Obviously, I would have never thought that would have happened, but in the moment, it felt really good, for sure.
During the pandemic, the twins traveled to wherever they could find a game with their club team. That included a chilly trip to Reno, where the game was played on a field covered with snow.
We thought it was going to get canceled, but during the actual game, it was hard to play. It was like sand soccer, but obviously colder, and we made it work.
When she was 11, Kennedy took her passion for social issues to Sacramento. She was chosen as a youth ambassador to speak in front of thousands of people at the state capitol during the Women's March.
Since I was little, my teachers and parents have taught me the importance of being kind and respectful to others. That means I need to be compassionate and nice, and to say something when I see others acting in a disrespectful or unkind way.
I was really young. I was like 11 and 12 when I did those speeches, but to know what it's like to speak at that level helps my public speaking now.
Now the twins are doing their part to help combat the coronavirus. The two signed up for a vaccine trial, this vaccine aimed at protecting people under the age of 16.
Because in the long term it'll help a lot of people, and right now we're just taking one for the team.
Kennedy also kicked for the JV football team last season. She says she's hit from 45 yards out in practice. It turns out the football also helps her soccer.
Well, football obviously helps me be more physical in soccer. The kicking helps my shot. I still have to do tackles at practice and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Just not in game yet.
But you want to?
I can if I need to.
Kennedy and Landry hope to take the field for their Lincoln team this spring. In the meantime, the twins will come here and compete when they can. It's the competition between the two keeping them so close. Two great young ladies doing lots of wonderful work and hoping to be able to play with their high school team coming up maybe this spring.
I hear Lincoln is going to be pretty good. They're going to be a force in that league.
They will be good, but when you have somebody that scores 39 goals, that helps a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Lexus of Stevens Creek presents the Volunteer Award each week. The volunteers all become eligible for $10,000 in scholarships given out by Lexus of Stevens Creek at the end of the year.
This week's volunteer is Alonzo Jackson from Kimball High in Tracy. Alonzo has his own apparel company called Mixed Behavior. The company does great work in the community, as Alonzo explains.
I have my own clothing brands called Mixed Behavior.
and we try to go out as much as we can and go out to the homeless and give them care packages as much as we can. We're actually doing one tomorrow in Stockton, California, just finding homeless and handing out packages and stuff. It's just good for the community, you know, like they don't have much, obviously they don't have that much, so we try to help them out as much as we can, and we post all our stuff on social media to kind of promote it, to have everybody else kind of follow us and do the same thing.
You can see the Mixed Behavior clothing line at mixedbehaviorclothing.com. Great work by Alonzo and all of his volunteers. Wonderful thing. All right, coming up, the cheerleader from Midi High and her transition to collegiate acrobatics.
And with the NBA tipping off this week, we thought we could do a little deja vu with one of our favorite NBA stars.
We are back with the Midi cheerleader who is taking her 10-year career in cheerleading in a different direction.
That's right. The NCAA has not yet recognized cheerleading as a sport, leaving lifelong competitive cheerleaders like Lexi Jardina with a decision to make.
Hi, my name is Lexi. I've been cheering at NorCal for 3 years. I am most excited to
I think I was just like utterly amazed at the fact that like people could do that.
Lexi Jardina was 8 years old when she began competitive cheerleading.
They were just tumbling and flipping like it was nothing, and I was like, I need to be able to do that.
It didn't take long for cheer to become a passion for Lexi. She soon began to develop elite skills that not many athletes could perform.
The gym was actually located closer to my house, so it was really accessible for me. I would come in, I would tumble all day long. I would be in this gym 6 hours a day for like 7 days a week, which was just a lot of tumbling and sitting there and just working out. And so I kind of just never got bored of it. I kept doing it, and then I was actually able to get a lot of my skills really early on. And so that kind of just set me up for more success in the future.
A future that does not involve competitive cheer, at least for now. Lexi is a senior at Archbishop Midi High School and will spend her college career on the acrobatics and tumbling team at the University of Oregon.
Acro is an NCAA approved sport where cheer isn't, so they can't actually offer you scholarship money for cheerleading. University of Oregon was just like where I wanted to go regardless. And so the fact that they had this opportunity for me was great, and I did actually look into their cheer program, but a lot of collegiate cheer programs, especially sideline, are more dancing and like maybe a couple stunts here and there, but I'm just not a dancer. Contrary to what many people think, I'm not a dancer.
There are a lot of similarities between competitive cheer and acro. Both are centered around tumbling and stunting. But the skills college acro teams throw are often more difficult than the ones Lexi is used to.
Essentially, it's more focused on kind of a mix of gymnastics and cheer. So tumbling is a lot more technical, focusing a lot more on body line, synchronization, just all around. And as for stunts, they're a bit more intense, also defined like a lot by lines, still a lot more focused on like synchronization and all these technical aspects rather than like performance value. So it's bittersweet, you know. At the end of the day, it is like an era that's kind of ending. So that's exciting and sad in different ways. So I'm excited to kind of move forward and see what college and acro has to offer. But at the same time, it's just sad because I have only ever been here, and this is like all I've known for the past 10 years.
Since Lexi's first year of cheerleading, she only has ever worn a uniform with the name NorCal Elite on the front.
NorCal really is a family, and this is like a really controversial thing within the cheer world. Like, you know, everyone switches gyms at some point because maybe it just doesn't suit you, but here I've really found it as like a home. I've always bonded with my coaches very strongly, and all my teammates have become my best friends, my sisters. And so I've just really fell in love with the program and just couldn't imagine the heartbreak that it would bring to like leave, let alone like I've just gotten everything I've needed here. You know, I've been provided with multiple opportunities for growth. I've learned all my tumbling here. I've met a series of coaches that have just helped me out in like unexplainable ways. And so it just really feels like home, and I wouldn't want to leave my home, you know?
Unfortunately, Lexi most likely has already performed in her last cheer competition.
because of COVID, it really sucks a little bit more just because I won't be having that senior season. Cheer's a very close contact sport, especially with your team, and that's just not something that we can really do much about right now, especially being closed again, the county being closed down again. So we most likely will not have in-person competitions, at least to my knowledge. If we do, that would be exciting, but it would also just be very different. But I am fortunate enough to have done this for many years, so I've experienced not all there is, but a lot of what there is to experience. So just the fact that I'm allowed to be here with my close friends and just be able to experience the in-gym time with them is, it makes me happy.
After a 10-year career that includes countless of championship trophies, banners, and rings, Lexi is ready to trade in her black and gold uniform for that of the infamous Oregon Green, while never trading away those memories and people who taught Lexi Jardina to live for today. Lexi is happy to be going to her dream school and is even more excited to be starting a new career in acro and tumbling. She says she'll miss all of her coaches and teammates at her cheer gym very much.
Oh my goodness, she's so talented.
She is very talented. Yeah.
And you used to cheer, so you did all those tumbles too, just like her?
I knew what she was doing. I think my brother even made an appearance in there somewhere.
Is that right?
Yeah, that was my old cheer gym. So.
All right, we'll go back and look. Coming up, one of the very best to come out of the Bay Area, it's Deja Vu with Aaron Gordon next.
And later, he can pitch and he can toss. We'll meet Adrian Bloomberg coming up. You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports, presented by U.S. Bank.
Some see a grilled cheese sandwich and ask why. I see a new kitchen with a grill and ask why not.
I really need to start adding less to cart and more to savings.
Sitting on this couch so long made me want to make some changes, starting with this couch.
Yeah, I need a house with a different view. And this is the bank that will help you do it all. Because at U.S. Bank, our people are dedicated to turning your new inspiration into your next pursuit.
It's understandable to feel anxious, stressed, or lonely because of COVID-19. Physical separation, your own health, and the health of friends and family can weigh heavily on you. Call a timeout on work. Get a game plan for mental wellness with crucial mental health resources from CalHope. We'll help you carry the ball. Call 1-833-317-HOPE to talk to someone who can help, or visit calhope.org. CalHope, official partner of the San Francisco 49ers.
For more than 65 years, Cupertino Electric has been delivering power and possibilities. With offices throughout California and project sites throughout the U.S., Cupertino Electric today builds renewable, commercial, utility, and data center projects for some of the most influential companies in the world. Beyond that, we are a people company. We build family, communities, and meaningful careers. Visit CEI.com today or connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social sites to see our openings and join our team.
Devcon Construction is #1 in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley because of trust. 95% of our business comes from repeat customers. They know the customer is our top priority. That's why Devcon was the choice for the 49ers Stadium and for the Earthquake Stadium. Devcon was also chosen when outstanding schools like Bellarmine, the Nueva School, and Mitty wanted the very best on time and on budget. Top Bay Area companies know Devcon is the best choice whether it's new construction or renovation. Devcon Construction, helping to build the best in Silicon Valley.
It's Deja Vu! Each week, Clover Dairy brings us athletes who are grazing their way through the professional ranks, and this week we feature former Mitty basketball star Aaron Gordon.
Aaron was great for the Midi Monarchs in the class of 2013. Aaron was a high school All-American before heading off to University of Arizona, where he was Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. Aaron was drafted by the Orlando Magic as the 4th overall pick in the NBA draft. Aaron does all sorts of charity work around the Orlando area. He was a co-star in the movie Uncle Drew and recently released the song Pull Up, and he's been a very good friend of the show for many years.
He has, and you have a beautiful signed Gordon jersey that you will never part with.
No, I will not. He was very kind to give that to me.
Yes, that is great. All right, thank you, Robert. The Harker School brings us the Scholar Athlete Award each week, and this week it's Lincoln's Kennedy Schonauer, who we met earlier. Kennedy has a very impressive 4.3 GPA.
At Harker, preschool through 12th grade students discover their passions. Learn more about Harker at harker.org.
Be sure to check us out on social media for lots of fun content, including videos, news updates, and lots more. We're at 49ers Cal High everywhere, including TikTok.
And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates on when new videos are posted, including the entire show each week. Coming up, a Campo Lindo baseball player and the different kind of golf he plays off the field.
You're watching 49ers Cal High Sports, presented by U.S. Bank.
49ers Cal High Sports is brought to you by these fine companies who care about high school sports. By Lexus of Stevens Creek, we get it. By Clover Sonoma, the #1 milk brand in Northern California and proud partners of the 49ers. And by Devcon Construction, build, design, perform, sustain.
We're back at Levi Stadium with our next feature story this week, brought to you by Service by Medallion.
At just 15 years old, Campo Lindo's Adrian Bloomberg is one of the top disc golfers in the Bay Area. He's so good, he's turned professional this past summer. Our Danielle Podlowski has his story.
When Campo Lindo sophomore Adrian Bloomberg isn't on the mound pitching, you can find him out on the course. The disc golf course. Adrian learned how to play disc golf from his dad.
I took Adrian out when he was about 5, first time, and right away he just showed a real aptitude for the game and loved playing it. So we went out quite often.
Disc golf is something the entire Bloomberg family enjoys.
It's a great source for us to all get outside, and it's provides a little bit of competition. And especially in these times, my brother and I can really bond with it. My dad and I can really bond with it. And it's really something that everywhere we go, even if we're just traveling, we're like, hey, there's this disc golf course we might want to go to. And it's just always just a fun, 3 to 4 hour outing.
It didn't take long for Adrian to start out driving his dad.
I would say around 11 or 12, Adrian started to outdrive me, which was a tough one to take. We played in our first tournament together, and he won that tournament. I was about the middle of the pack.
Adrian's pitching technique is really helpful when it comes to throwing a disc.
I think that I've always kind of had that aspect, or that natural form that you get from baseball, because it's about a shift of power with your legs and your lower body. And I think also with when you're throwing a baseball, you really have to whip your arm, and I guess you have that same part in disc golf.
Adrian's forehand drive is one of a kind, but he also excels in nearly every other aspect of the sport.
His all-around game is really good. His driving is exceptional. He has incredible distance. He has probably one of the better forehand drives in the game. But the rest of his game has really developed quite well too. His putt has gotten to be really, really strong.
Over the years, Adrian continued to practice and continued winning tournaments. This past summer, at just 15 years old, Adrian made the jump to becoming a professional.
What happened was this last summer, with COVID, tournaments were one of the only things that were open, so I played, quite a bit of disc golf. I played a few tournaments, and I just made the move to pro over the summer. And it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of a decision. It's like in the back of my mind, I knew it was something that I could do. And it was just after this one tournament I played, and I made the move up to pro, and I just felt like I fit right in.
Adrian is passionate about baseball and disc golf and hopes to keep playing both for a long time.
With disc golf, you can play it for as long as you want. It's just kind of all up to you. I could play into my 60s or 70s if I wanted to. But I think in the future I'll try to go as far as I can with baseball, and then if that doesn't work out, then disc golf is always there for me.
Disc golf is a sport you can play at any age. Adrian is on a mission to grow the game, especially during the pandemic.
I think it's a great thing for the health of all families because it's, with now there's kind of a risk factor with doing anything physical. It's like you can't do quite a few things that you used to be able to. So just coming out here, you have all this open space. It's so easy to stay 6 feet apart. You can wear masks the entire time. And it's really something that isn't affected by COVID at all. And it's just really such a fun experience, and it's cheap. It's very accessible. There are courses everywhere, and it's just a great option.
Camp Alindo sophomore Adrian Bloomberg can not only throw a baseball in the strike zone, he can drive a disc into the basket. This past summer, Adrian reached his goal of becoming a professional disc golfer and is ready to compete against the best of the best.
Oh, that's really good.
With the pandemic and online classes, Adrian is able to hit the disc golf course almost every day. Adrian is currently preparing to play in a big tournament the first week of January. So with the COVID, lots of space out there, you're okay.
Yeah, that's one of the sports that probably can be approved by the county to play. So yeah, that'd be good. All right, coming up, the stories we'll feature on next week's show.
But first, here's this week's training tip by our good friends at the Rikus Center.
I'm Andrew Havili, and today's training tip is a dumbbell single arm push press. This exercise is great if you don't have platforms, you just have a couple dumbbells and you need to work on explosiveness. So Ben's going to bring the dumbbell up to shoulder height, and now he's going to use his explosive jump to get that dumbbell to go straight up. Go ahead. Good, again. As you come up, make sure at the top you don't bend that back backwards. You keep the abs nice and tight, okay? If you want to progress it, you split. If you want to regress it, go lighter. This is a single arm dumbbell push press.
That's our 49ers Cal High Sports for this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Robert Braunstein.
And I'm Aubrey Tolliver. Next week, we'll look back at the year that was 2020 with our favorite features, including the cancer survivor from Live Oak High School.
It just gave you a peace of mind knowing that everyone was fighting with you. I understand now why someone says you're not fighting alone.
I honestly didn't know I had that much support. Like, I didn't think it was gonna, like, when I got cancer, I didn't think I was gonna have, like, that much. I didn't know that many people cared.
And our favorite highlights with big-time boys and girls games.
And we'll meet Breezy Bohenick, the inspirational triathlete working towards her first ever Ironman triathlon.
I want to be where the athletes are. I want to see them running, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, prosthetics. Now I can walk. Now I can run, now I can play all day in the sun. Part of this world.
It's all next week on 49ers Cal High Sports. We hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and we're looking forward to a Happy New Year and a wonderful 2021. We'll see you next week.